All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Do not know what happened there. So this is take two of the stream. Yeah, the stream got cut just now. Do not know why that happened. Do not know if it's my internet. Peace out. Not peace out. Peace to First Coast Crypto, Mike K, Clinton in the house, you Glow Girl in the house. Shout out to Skate Fish, Cherry Yixis, and Kinetic. Yeah, guys, let's FOMO into this like button because, as I said at the beginning of this stream, if we can get this video up to 500 likes, I will be giving away $500 worth of Bitcoin to one person in the chat. Okay, in the chat. And also, guys, it's important to FOMO into the Jason Casper like button because as we take a look at the charts here, the like button for this video is going absolutely parabolic. And actually, the Jason Casper like button, as you can see here, is trading on Bybit. Okay, you can trade it up to 100x leverage. The JCLB USD pair right here. Okay, check it out. Definitely a good asset. Okay, liking this video right now is equivalent to buying Bitcoin when it was $1. Okay, $1. Don't be the one who misses out. Do not be the one who misses out. All right, let me just check on the chat real quick. Okay, we've got some people coming back in here. Shout out to Crypto Willie, Edward Levesque, which I pronounced wrong totally. People are saying it's blurry. People are saying the quality is bad. Let me know if that's true. I don't know. Logan Davis says the Jason Casper like button is owned by Ripple Labs. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's jump right into this analysis. So I want to start on the daily time frame for Bitcoin because I think right now we are clearly trading still in a range, but the big question on everybody's mind is, once we break the range, what is going to happen? Are we going to get a massive move to the upside? Are we going to see new all-time highs? Or are we going to see a 20K, 19K, 9K, 1K, 0K, negative $7,000 Bitcoin? What is going to happen? So I'd like to start on the daily time frame. And what I want to do is, first, I just want to mark out a few important levels, and then I want to take a look at Market Cipher. So right now, I think it's extremely important to mark out some key levels, just on a macro time frame, of support and resistance, some key levels of support and resistance. If we go to the weekly time frame and we look at just all the price action of Bitcoin as a whole from the beginning of our history on Bybit, okay, November 2018, and we turn on our volume indicator, we can see something extremely important, which is this. The volume indicator is telling us that Bitcoin has been trading in this massive range, okay? Basically, I'm sorry, that was a bad drawing here. We've been trading in this massive range, okay, since November. This whole chunk of price action, according to our volume indicator, our VPVR, and if anybody's unfamiliar with what VPVR is, what you're going to do is you're going to come to indicators, and you are going to search for visible space, RANGE, visible range. And what this does is it's actually measuring volume that was traded at certain prices, okay? Volume that was traded at certain prices. And so when you have these peaks and valleys over here on the left, I'm sorry, did I say the left? I mean the right. I still get those things mixed up, When I'm driving down the highway and I put on my right directional, then I turn left and cut the guy off behind me. It's because I get my lefts and rights mixed up. And people hate on me for that, but you know what? I can't help it. I have that condition called lexdysia. So this is telling us how much volume was traded at a certain price. So right here at the price of approximately 36,500, 36,600, we can see that there was a peak in volume. That means there was a lot of buying and selling happening at this peak. And then the valleys are areas where there was very little buying and selling. And so what you can do is you can create ranges. Okay, a great example is these two orange lines are creating a range that we traded because we have the low volume on the top and the bottom, and then we have a peak in the middle. And the peak in the middle, that's known also as the point of control, which will act as a support and resistance. But when you turn on this indicator, you can kind of get these ranges based on volume. And if we look at everything that's been traded on Bybit all the way back to November 2018, we can see that it's telling us this is a massive range from about 51K down to about 4,000, down to about around $3,700. And the point of control is right down here at about 9,300. But what I think is very significant to us is right up here we have the value area high, because where it goes from light color to dark color is telling us that's the top of the range. And so because it's the top of the range, we can draw a line here at about $51,000 and say to ourselves, it's very significant if the price of Bitcoin eventually does come back up above $51,000. And the reason for that is because it means we have exited this lower range that we've been trading in from November 2018 and are now coming into a higher range, which will eventually, no doubt, lead to new all-time highs. Because once you break above one range into another range, what used to be resistance now becomes support. Okay, and once you break below a range, what used to be support now becomes resistance. A great example of that is what happened when we fell below this $42,000 level. This historically was our resistance back here in January. Then we started trading in another range up here, other ranges up here. And then once we lost the higher two ranges, we came back down and started trading in that old range again. It's like floors on a house. It's basically what we're looking at, floors on a house, And so right now, I think two of the most significant levels of resistance for Bitcoin right now is number one, 42K, number two, 51K. Okay, so these are some very important levels. These three lines here on the chart are the three most important levels, I think. Actually, you know what? I would also put a level down here at about 23 also, because we do see a spike in volume down here as well. And there was a lot of trading going on right there, but I'll get to that later. Basically, what's happening here is if we're able to come above this 42K level, then we are going to see Bitcoin hit higher prices. And not only is this a important level of resistance, but we can also see it's the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame, which historically has been the door out of the bull market, right? So, last few bull runs, last three, when we lost that 21 EMA, we were at the end of the bull market. So we're at a very interesting time right now for Bitcoin because we don't know what is going to happen, but we can do some technical analysis and we can mark some levels. So if I go to the daily time frame right now and I turn on Market Cipher B, okay, I think this is important to look at. This for a macro term kind of thing. This is important to look at. When we do look at Market Cipher B on the daily time frame, we can see a few things that are actually quite interesting. Number one, we can see that momentum is ramping up. On the daily time frame, we printed a nice juicy bottom right here. We can tell this is a bottom because of this big old dot underneath the oscillators. This is telling us that we've hit a bottom historically. When we hit one of these, what happens? Historically, after we hit one of these bottoms, we tend to come up. Now, we don't always come up right away, right? We can see we printed a bottom right here. We actually came down a big amount first before we continued up from there. And same goes with right here. We printed the bottom. We actually did come down a little bit before we got a pump to the upside. I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not. It's very small. I can't even see it. So I cannot even see it. So let me zoom in and show you guys what I'm saying here. So, we printed the bottom right about here. And then we continued to trade sideways and even came down a little bit before we had a pump. So really, when we printed that bottom, again, money flow was coming down as we were printing this bottom. This is important. Money flow was coming down. We printed the bottom, and we ended up coming down, about another 11% before we got a 30% pump to the upside. So it's very possible that we are going to see something similar. going to see something similar. The fact that we have momentum coming up, we have anchor waves, trigger wave, trigger wave. I personally do feel that we are going to see Bitcoin move to a higher price. Maybe we will see a big dump soon just to shake out the weak hands, but I'm personally still banking on Bitcoin moving to a higher level. Now, again, guys, we are currently, though, however, that's the macro. From the day to day, we are still trading within this range. So one of the things I want to focus on in this stream is talking about how to trade in a sideways market. I think it's very important to discuss how to trade in a range in a sideways market, because sideways markets, people say, okay, just buy the support and sell the resistance. And that's totally true. But if we look at this, how would we be able to know when to buy or sell? We can clearly see there's a lot of opportunities to trade here. Absolutely. We could have bought down here, and then we could have sold when we got up here, and then we could have bought down here and sold up here, and bought down here and sold up here, and bought down here and sold up here. But how would we have known that the price is going to stop at those areas? A lot of people get sliced up in sideways markets because there's not a lot of volatility, right? Bitcoin is moving. We got a nice move in the past few days of about 7%. So that's not too significant. And if you get in at the wrong time, if things are really pumping and you're like, oh, it's about time I get in, we've been pumping for a while, then things start to dump. And so we're going to talk about how to trade in these sideways ranging markets. But first, let me drop into the chat, see how everything's going in here. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. Clinton Query says, to the moon. Yeah, guys, if we can get this video up to 500 likes, I will be giving away $500 of Bitcoin. Shout out to all shouting shouters. Shout out to all shouting shouters in the chat. Floors or chickens drinking water. Yeah, we're going to get into the chickens drinking water. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Thank you to everybody. Blessings to the new family member. Yes, we did have a new Casper baby added to the family. Shout out to Shifty, who bought the course about a month ago. Hope you're enjoying it. I know there's a lot of info in there. I am going to be doing an updated course in the future as well. Shout out to Duper, who purchased the course and is loving it. Even the overly basic stuff that he knows is well worth the watch. He's learned things there too. Thank you, Duper. Thank you so much. Shout out to Ramon, who pushed the like button 500 times. Shout out to Biscuit, who says shouting shout. And yeah, that's true. Possible FUD coming from Biden this week. Yeah, we'll talk about that. A lot of the fundamentals will move the market, but we can use our technicals to find good entries. And yeah, guys, make sure to FOMO into the like button. We do have the like button. This is the chart, super parabolic, trading over on Bybit. It's got you could trade it with up to 100x leverage, y'all, which is pretty intense. And if you guys do want to get the course, you can come to jasoncaspertrading.com. There's still a discount code available for 28% off in honor of my wife's birthday, and that discount code is, I can drop it. I'll drop it in the chat for us. I'll drop it in the chat if anybody is interested, and if not, then you don't have to use it. You don't have to use it. Let me see here. It was this video, I think, right here. Yeah, this video. In honor of Big Butts' 28th birthday. She's a cool chick, Big Butts 28. So you can use this code to get a 28% off. Greg Chavez, definitely Kubota. Shout out to Logan Davis, who just got 3 hens and a rooster. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, the baby's name is Fibonacci. I named him Fibonacci because, how could you not? How could you not? So, let's do a little TA on this range here. What I want to do is I want to analyze the price action from the time that we lost this very important. I want to analyze for now. Let's just analyze the price action as we've been trading in this range right here. And I think right now I'm going to put a level of support right down here at about that $31,000 level too, because we came off this level twice now. We came off this level twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just to go to the daily time frame, see if we can see any daily support and resistance levels here that we could actually trade off of. And if I pull up my other chart right here, we can see that there are some important levels. We have this level right here at about 36.6 thousand, 36.6. We're actually getting a little bounce off of that right now. Yeah, let me see if I could just drop that in right here. Boom. We have a daily right here, and then we had another daily level right down here at about 34.3. And I think it's important that we put this weekly level down here at about 32K, give or take. 32K. That's an important level of support right there. Yeah, so I think these are some levels that I want to. We've also got a daily right here at 39.1, and then we've got a weekly resistance at 38. Of course, we've got that daily level right there. I already put that in there, and I think, you know, we could also put one. We could also put one at 40.6. I know this is kind of sloppy, but I just want to mark out these levels of support and resistance right here. Let me take a look. Yeah, so now what I want to do is I want to analyze the price action from the time that we lost the January all-time high until where we're at right now, and see what the volume is like, so we can see if there's any levels that we can be looking at for a potential bounce or a potential reversal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull out the fixed ranged indicator. I'm going to go ahead and pull that from the time that we lost 42K to our current price. And now what this is doing is this is giving us, just like how we were looking at the volume of the entire trading, you know, the entire time that Bitcoin has been on Bybit, we were looking at all that trading volume. Well, now we're just analyzing from the time that we lost that January, from the time that we lost that January high until now. So we could put a level right here. This is going to give us our value area high. Our value area high. And then we could put one right here. This will give us our value area low. And then, of course, we have our point of control right here, which is very, very close to this daily level of support and resistance. And you can see right now that this point of control, it really is acting as a support and resistance level. Look at how we wicked up to this in the past twice. In fact, we could have taken a nice short off of it back then. Of course, we wouldn't have had this point of control back then. But we're gonna mark these levels out here and turn off the indicator. So right now what this is doing is this is giving us some structure from which we can trade off of, right? If price is coming to one of these levels, we will then look for a trade. We will then look for a trade, and we're not just going to enter a trade because we come up to a level, but we are going to enter a trade because we've come to a level and because we're getting confirmations on Market Cipher, which is the indicator that I use to trade. This is the 4-hour time frame. We can also see that we have a level of support and resistance right about here, about 35.8. So I'm going to go ahead and just make this a 4-hour level of support and resistance. And so now what we can do is, what I like to do when I'm marking my levels is I like to do daily levels, weekly levels, 4-hour. I like to do volume indicators. Look for high volume nodes and stuff like that. And then everybody knows I like to pull the fib. I like to pull out my fib, and I'm unashamed to pull out my fib. People know, okay? I could be out at the supermarket. I could be out at the pizzeria. Doesn't really matter. I will just whip out the fib, and people ask, Do I have a license to conceal carry my fib? Absolutely. I would never recommend anybody carry a fib if you don't have a concealed carry license. You can actually go to jail for that. People don't realize that. But what you can use the fib for is to find areas of reversal. And the way you're going to do a fib is, well, price never moves in a straight line. If you're unfamiliar with Fibonacci, price will never move in a straight line. If we're in an uptrend, price will move up a little and then retrace down, and then move up a little more and then retrace down, and then move up a little more and then retrace down. If we're in a downtrend, price will come down and then retrace up, and then come down and then retrace up, and then come down and then retrace up. And what we're doing with the fib is we're measuring, okay, if this is 100% of a leg upward, and now we're starting to retrace, what percentage of the initial move up right here are we retracing when we come down? And this will give us some areas where we can look to find a bounce. It's very important. And there's some areas, some Fibonacci number percentages that tend to give us good reactions. So let me show you what I'm saying here. We could pull out a fib from this, and the way you're going to do it is you're going to be analyzing a price action move. And it works in trends and it works in sideways markets too. So you could pull your fib from this swing low right here, from this low up to this high, right? And you can be looking now for a reaction off of some of these fib levels here. And you always want to pull it from swing lows to swing highs, or swing highs to swing lows. That's the best way to do it. If we come to the hourly time frame here, and we go back, we can see. And let me turn off some of these other horizontal lines so that we can see more clearly here. I want to be able to see more clearly. If we come back in time, let's take a look at the fib. So look at this, right? We pulled our fib from this low all the way up to this high, and we come down, and the first place we bounce is off this 23.6% of the initial move to the downside, right? We come up, and then we bounce right off of, the initial move to the upside. So we're pulling it from the low to the high. We bounce off this fib line right here. We actually bounce off there twice. We come down, we bounce off the 0.5. And that's how you're going to use your fib to look for a bounce, You're not always going to get a bounce, but you can use this to look for a bounce. Pull it from this swing low to this swing high here. Notice what happens when we're analyzing the price action. We get bounces off this 236 level once, twice. We come down, get a little scalp trade off of the 0.5 level. Then we come down and we bounce off the golden ratio. Come down, bounce off the 0.5. So what I like to do is I like to use a combination of fib, volume, and support and resistance levels when we're ranging, trading sideways, to find those good entries, Where should we be looking for price to reverse? Where should we be looking for it to reverse? If we pull our fib from here to here, where should we be looking for price to find a reaction? Because just because we're trading sideways, it doesn't mean we're going to come between the same high and the same low each time. That's very unlikely. In fact, we also know during this time we were trading in a type of symmetrical triangle here, and we were able to use the triangle to make trades. Yeah, this is the triangle. Right about here. We were able to use this triangle to make trades, but even in the middle of the triangle, we were able to, for example, catch a nice rejection off of this 618 right here, off of the 618 right here, off of the 618 right here. And again, if you want to learn this stuff in extreme detail, check out jasoncaspertrading.com. This course goes over everything you need to know. If you're totally new to trading, this is basically trading boot camp. By the time you're finished with this course, you will have the knowledge and the skills you need to trade profitably and have a plan and stick to your plan and not be wavering around like a boat in the ocean, tossed to and fro by every wave, but you will have a rudder in the ocean. A lot of people have used this course to really jumpstart their trading, and we go through all the technical analysis you need to know to identify good levels on a chart to make trades. We go over how to use the Market Cipher indicator in extreme detail, how to create and test your own strategy. We even give you strategies right out of the box that you can use right away. And we are temporarily giving a 28% discount in honor of my wife's birthday. Drop it in the chat right there. And unfortunately, guys, I don't know if this video will actually get 500 likes, because we only have 300 people in the chat, and we only have 300 likes. So that's a shame. Usually we get like 800 to 1,000 people in here. So maybe I'll have to redo this on another stream. I know I don't usually stream at this time. I do not usually stream at this time. So people are asking, do you always pull the fib from high to low? Here's how the fib works. It can be resistance. If you are pulling from a high to a low, the fib acts as resistance. So if I'm pulling from this high to this low, okay, the fib is giving me resistance on the way up. If I'm pulling from a low to a high, then the fib is giving me support on the way down. Okay, so if I'm pulling from a swing low to a swing high, the fib is giving me support on the way down. You can see I pulled it from this low here to this high up here, and now on the way down I'm getting a bounce off the 382, it's acting as support. I'm getting a bounce off the 236, acting as support, a bounce off the 0.5, a bounce off the 618 twice, acting as support. You can also pull the fib from the same low to you can pull the fib from multiple lows to the same high on the way up, right? So if I wanted to, for example, I wanted to analyze this chunk of price action right here, right? I could pull my fib from this low to this high up here. Then I could pull my fib from this low to this high. And we're looking for, areas of confluence. It works better, in larger amounts of price action, but pulling it from this low to this high right here, now we can say, okay, there might be multiple places where I could be able to look for a reaction, and it does get a little sloppy this way, but it's definitely a good thing to do. So right now, personally, I haven't been trading too much the past few days because of everything that's been going on in the household. But for right now, we have a very clear low and high that we put in, right? We have a very clear low, we have a very clear high. So we can pull our fib from the swing low to the swing high and ask ourselves, where would we be looking for a nice long position? Now, don't get me wrong. We can scalp this thing up and down. There's so many opportunities to enter trades, right? But if I was to say, okay, where would be a really nice place to enter a long? Well, I would definitely be looking when price comes down to the 382 level, which is right here at about 35.6. And then again, when price came down to the 0.5, which is 34.7, and then especially if price comes down to 33.7 around there, looking for a bounce off this this golden ratio, right? If price makes its way down here, it's very likely that we would have a bounce to the upside, okay? It's very likely that we'd have a bounce to the upside. And you can also, that's just analyzing this small chunk of price action right here. But we can even pull a fib from, this high up here that we got to this low down here and be looking for resistance on the way up. And you could see we already did get a perfect rejection off of this 618 Fibonacci level right here. And again, if you want extreme detail on this, check out the course. It goes into that. But honestly, my free YouTube content, guys, as many of you know, we do go over these things, and it's just not as orderly. It's just not as orderly and step by step as more as it's already assuming you know some certain concepts before we talk about it. But I would still keep my eye on this fib pull, right? If we happen to come up to this level here about 40,000, I would be definitely looking for a rejection off of this 40,000 level, to short that. And keep in mind that even though we pulled it from the high to the low, and we're looking for areas of you know, hang on, let me turn this fib off. When we're pulling it from the high to the low, we're looking for areas of resistance on the way up, but we can even use these levels as support, right? Because we can see we rejected off the golden ratio, but we did also get a little reaction off of the 0.5 level as well, and you could say there was confluence with this trend line here. And we could do this on really any time frame too. Like if we come down to like the 12-minute, for example, and just take a little zoom out here, you know, let's just do this on a very small time frame, right? So we could say that we had a swing low and a swing high right here on the 12-minute. So a swing low here, a swing high there. We'll pull it from the low to the high to see if we can find some support on the way down. Well, what do you know? What do you know? Where do we get the bounce off of? The 0.5. And then you could say right here we have a swing high to a swing low. So you could pull our fib from here down to here. Say where are we going to find some resistance? And we do find some very clear resistance at the 786 level. Okay, I don't think that this is something we could have traded, but I mean maybe you could have had a very small scalp there as we came above the level and lost it. But look at how perfectly we find our resistance at this 786 level, right? This is a 12-minute time frame, so we got basically an hour and a half almost where price was unable to break above that level. So you could do this on a smaller time scale too and really find some good trades, right? Whenever you have a clear swing low and swing high, you can look for reactions off those levels, right? So we could take one from this swing high up here to this swing low down here, and yeah, look, we get reactions off of these fib levels. We get reactions off of each one of these fib levels. We get the reaction off the 0.5. You know, we could have gotten 2 trades, 3 trades off of that. Then we could have gotten 1, 2, 3 trades off this golden ratio right here, the 618. It's just so interesting what you can do with your fib. And again, we're only going to enter trades if Market Cipher gives us confluence. So let me show you how you would do that. So let's pull our fib from, the swing high to the swing low. And we're going to be looking at what happens when price comes to, let's say price came up to, from this low, price came up to the 0.5, and we're looking to take that short. How would we do that? Well, we see that price is coming up to our fib level, so that's getting us interested in a trade. It's coming up to our fib level, that's getting us interested in a trade. Now what I like to do is, I like to take a look at Market Cipher. What's Market Cipher telling me? Well, on the 12-minute time frame, first of all, I can see that on the 12-minute time frame, momentum is coming up, right? We printed a double bottom, and now we're printing consecutively higher waves, right? So it's telling me that momentum is coming up, but I'm looking for a short. So I'm a little bit uncertain. So what I have to do now is I have to go down to a lower time frame, maybe the 3-minute, maybe the 1-minute. What I want to see on the 3-minute is something like this. In fact, this is exactly what we want to see if we are going to take a short off a fib level, where price is making higher highs, right? We see price making higher highs right here, okay? And yet the momentum is making lower highs. The momentum is also at the same time making lower highs, right? And of course this hasn't confirmed yet. It has not confirmed, but we can see that momentum is coming down. We can see that money flow is also coming down, okay? Yet the price continues to go up, and that's called a divergence, where the price in the oscillator is doing the opposite thing. And so, we are that's how we're going to find our entries here. That's how we're going to find our entries. And even better, if you come down to the 1-minute and take a look at the 1-minute time frame, this is really where we get a clear entry. I mean, if we're coming up, if price is making higher highs on the way up like this, and you're starting to see the money flow curving into the purple on the 1-minute, that's how you know for sure it's going to be a good trade. And so if we come up to a level of resistance, a fib level, like this 0.5, and we come up above the level, and then we lose the level, and you're seeing the divergences, and you're seeing the money flow crossing over, that's how you know that this is going to be a good trade. And you could enter before the money flow crosses into from the blue to the purple, but you can wait until it crosses over. You won't have as good of an entry, but you'll have a more sure entry. And so that's the way that we're going to trade sideways markets when there's not much volatility. We're going to mark out our fib levels and look at just how respected these levels are, right? Especially the 618, the 0.5, and the 382. Those are probably the three most important levels that we are going to be looking at. So that's kind of how I plan to be trading this until we lose our range. And so this over here, this is my actual chart that I've got marked up here. If we do come below, let's say we come below this very low of the range, this 29,800 give or take level, how would we be looking to catch a nice long? Because really, we always want to make sure that we're buying low and selling high. We never want to buy high and sell low. We want to buy low and sell high. And so some areas that I have marked out on the chart are, number one, this 23,496 level. This is a weekly level of support. It's also a high volume node. Another level I have marked out on the chart, which I think is very important, is if we take our good old fib from the Corona dump to the all-time high, which I would consider basically the entire move to the upside, we can see that we have the golden ratio, this very reactive fib level at about 26,000. So I would say that we've got, if we lose that area, the two places that I would really be looking for a trade. There would be some before that, don't get me wrong, definitely some before that. I will not share them on this stream. But if you're in my VIP Discord, I would definitely let you know if I'm looking to take a long off of those levels if we lose this range. But we come down here to the $26,000 level, I'd be looking to long this. I'd be looking to long this. Now, how are we going to know? How are we going to know that it is a good time to take a long? Well, we're gonna first of all make sure our level is marked. We're gonna use Market Cipher. Something else to keep in mind, guys, the weekly is about to eventually, maybe within the next few weeks, confirm a nice green dot on Market Cipher down here. And historically, those green dots on the weekly, I mean, those things ain't no joke. Those things are definitely just not a joke. Okay, as we can clearly see from this chart right here, okay, we can all see clearly the price action that happened when we printed this green dot. I mean, look at the price action. Can everybody see that? Can everybody see that? Because I can't. Okay, I cannot. But we always get a move up. We always get a move up when we print the green dot in the weekly. This green dot, as that week progressed, even though we came down after the week was over, once that green dot started printing, we came up 45%, and that's a small move. Okay, this one right here, we came up, we printed that green dot, we come up about 64%. Wow. This one right here, massive. And these things usually print, after a dump, and we get that move to the upside. But what we're going to do is we are going to, what happened here? There we go. We're going to wait for price to come down to one of our levels, and we are going to look for a reaction off of that level. And we're going to look at Market Cipher and make sure that we're seeing our confirmations if we come down here to take a long or come down there to take a long. Let me quickly pop into the chat, see if we've got any questions. Let's see. Carl Herbert says, I paid for the course and haven't heard anything from you or received emails. Okay, Carl, reach out to me in the Discord, or reach out to Big Butts 28 in the Discord, or any mod, and we should be able to help you with that. Sometimes there are errors, and I do apologize. Byron Von Dorn wants to know if Market Cipher can be used on the smaller time frames for exits. Yeah, absolutely, it can. Like, shout out to Kinetic who says he hit up all his friends to like the video. Yeah, I don't know if we're definitely not going to be able to do the $500 giveaway today, guys. I apologize. But maybe in the future, once I get back on a normal streaming schedule. So yeah, Market Cipher can be used for exits on the lower time frames. The way I like to do that is I like to, if I'm scalping, right? Let's say I'm scalping. If I start to see something like this, okay, where I'm let's say I enter long, okay, enter long down here. We're coming up, okay. When I start to see that we're getting now a downward direction like this, I would think about closing that long for sure, if I haven't already, because that means we're going to come down a little bit more. That means we're going to come down a little bit more. That's, you know, like especially here when you start to see that the money flow is curving down on the 3 minute and we're printing lower, we're printing waves. Here's how Market Cipher B works. When we're printing everything exclusively above the zero line and there's nothing below the zero line, that means we're in an uptrend. Once things start to move back down toward and below the zero line, that means we're coming into a downtrend. And so when you start to see the money flow curving down, that means we're going to come down like more, right? When the money flow crosses below the zero line, that's probably the most powerful indication that price is going to come down. And when money flow crosses above the zero line, that's the most powerful indication that that price is going to come up. In fact, we could just take a look at Market Cipher B here. And really, let's do this little Market Cipher B experiment, because this is really nice the way Market Cipher B works. If we come into here and we just turn off the waves, turn off the WAP, turn off the RSIs, right? Turn off them RSIs, turn off the dots. Everyone loves the dots, right? And we only use the money flow, only, nothing else. We're not even using support or resistance levels, right? For this experiment. Let's just see if we could have made some good trades here. We would have made a short right here. This is the 3 minute time frame. Oh man, what is going on here? Sorry guys, flopping and groping over here. So we could have made a short right here. Could have made a long right here. Could have made a short right here. Could have made a long right here. Could have made a short right here. Could have made a long right here. Could have made a short right here. Let's just see if we would have been profitable just using the 3 minute money flow. Let's see if we would have won or lost. Okay. So our first trade right here, we shorted the money flow crossover. We crossed over right here, and we could have ended up with a nice 3% move from that money flow crossover. Now keep in mind, we would have been in 2% drawdown, so we can't just use only the money flow, right? We have to use other confirmations. But the point is, this would have been a huge wick out right there. The point is, we could have had a nice 3% move right there. And then we get the money flow crossing to the blue right here. Would we have gotten a profit in this trade? Yeah, we could have made a nice 1.84%. Of course, we would have been in drawdown more than what we would have made. So we need to have other confirmations. But if we just entered and no stop loss and stayed in these trades for the first two, they would have been winning trades. Let's check out this one here. Would we have gotten in profit in this trade? Yeah, we could have made a nice 2% profit just trading the money flow crossover only. How about this long right here? Would we have been in profit? Yes. Yep, we would have been a nice 1.5% profit. This short right here, we would have had the opportunity to get a tiny little 0.8% scalp, okay, if we had exited at the right time. Again, this is only using the money flow. And then right up here, the money flow crosses from the purple into the blue. We could have gotten a nice 1.25% on that. Of course, we would have been in drawdown a little bit before that. And then this short we could have taken just based on the 3 minute money flow. Just based on the 3 minute money flow, could have gotten a nice 2.20%. So really, guys, I just marked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I can count. 6 trades we could have taken only using one indicator on the chart, Market Cipher B, money flow, 3 minute, nothing else. Not even looking at support or resistance, not looking at the dots, not doing any other kind of technical analysis. And if we had just entered long or short based on these things, we would have had the opportunity to leave that trade in profit. So I think that shows how powerful the money flow is. And if we combine the money flow with other things on Market Cipher, like the momentum waves, like the VWAP, like the overall direction of this thing, and if we combine that with support and resistance levels and other things we mark up on our chart, it becomes, it gives us superpowers, right? Superpowers. We like Superman. We like Superman. Superman. Put on the waves, put on the WAP, put on the dots, put on the RSIs, and boom, we're good to go. We're good to go. Did I say that? We're good to go? We're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay, guys. People say, do I look at open interest? I do, but not as much. I like to use Market Cipher momentum. It's just easier for me. It's easier for me to do. Shout out to Chrissy Y. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody who's congratulating me on the baby. Connor D says the quick money flows are what I worry about. I'm not sure what you mean, Connor D. Clay Farnett, what if you use the 30-minute money flow? Yeah, guys, this is part of how you're going to create like a strategy, which is just look at different things and check out and see what happens, right? But look at this, right? We came down to the daily level. We lost the daily level. We regained the daily level. Could have made a nice little scalp off of that. And we can see now Market Cipher on the 3-minute is about to give us a money flow crossover soon, right? Soon. And that's one of the ways you can find those really good entries, is trying to use Market Cipher to front run the money flow, right? To kind of see anchor, trigger, money flow crossing, support and resistance. Yeah, and if you want in depth on how to create a strategy using all these things, check out jasoncaspertrading.com. I'll drop that coupon. This coupon is going to be over today, guys. So, 28% off with that coupon. Do I ever look at support or resistance? Asks Crispy Nuggets. The answer is no. I never look at support or resistance. Never. Shout out to Daniel Safari, who called 4 friends. Thank you, Aaron, who says the course is great. Andy says using money flow only will get you wrecked. You will not know when to exit. Yeah, Andy's right. You can't just use money flow only, because you won't know when to exit. You will not know when to exit. If you use money flow combined with some things, you have to use it. It's called finding confluence, right? Where you're using things in conjunction with each other to find good entries and exits. And for me, Market Cipher, support and resistance, Fibonacci, volume, moving averages, all these things work hand in hand to get us those good trades, right? Those good trades. I mean, I posted the video, this video right here, where basically, I talk about how I was able to, wait, was this? Yeah, this is the video where basically I talk about how I was able to really using my trading strategy, I was able to short the top and long the bottom. I mean, I was able to, if we go to the 1 hour time frame and come out of this here, I was able to short right here and long right here using my strategy, which I outline in great detail in the trading course, as well as I talk about it on other YouTube videos as well, where I'm using all these things in conjunction with each other. And right now we can see on the 1 hour time frame, right, we can see that momentum is starting to come down a little bit, right? We can see it's starting to come down a little bit. And we're kind of coiling up here, right? We're coiling up a little bit. Coiling up. Yep. Ms. Shannon says, since we're at the POC right now, can you walk us through if you would enter a short right now? Okay, that's a good question. So we are at the POC right now, and did I take this off the chart? So we are at a level right now. Would I take a short at this moment? Let me take a look at the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame is printing a red dot, which is showing us some downward momentum. The 2-hour has printed a red dot and is showing us some downward momentum. What I don't like to do is I don't like to short. If we lose the level again, then potentially I would look for a short. But because we came down to it and it's been acting as such a support right now, I wouldn't really be looking for the short as much as I would be looking for the long. But what I would say is, because the 4-hour is printing the red dot, I probably would not take a trade here because I don't have clear confirmation. Let's go down to the 3-minute and see if we can see anything here. We were getting the divergence coming in from here to here. And so I would say if there was any trade that I would have taken, it probably would have been a long when we lost the level and then came back up above it. That would probably be the only trade I would have looked to take, but I wouldn't take a long because the 4-hour is printing the red dot. So I would not take a trade right here. I would not take a trade right here because it does not meet all my confirmations. I don't long when the 4-hour is printing a red dot. I would long if the 4-hour printed a red dot a candle ago or 2 candles ago. But everything has to line up at the same time. Otherwise, it's easy to get wrecked. Because, we come up to this level, like, for example, right, we could have shorted this POC, but, it would have taken a while before we got the real rejection. If we had shorted here, we would have gotten wicked out on this purple candle wick. So you have to wait until everything is lined up perfectly before you're going to take the short or the long, or make sure you have a really loose stop loss or no stop loss, which can get quite risque. Okay, it can get quite risque, guys. BG390 says my volume is so low. I've had people say that, but other people say it's good. Thank you, LEK. Shout out to you. Bill Hyde, the DIY guy, says hidden bullish divergence on the 24-minute. Let's check it out. Hidden bullish div on the 24-minute. Let's check it out. Let me see. I don't really see a hidden divergence unless we're talking about a bearish divergence. Let me see. Talking about a bearish divergence? I don't see one. Maybe I'm missing something here. Okay. You talking about this? Because I guess we could call that a hidden divergence. I wouldn't really... I mean, you could also say that this has already played out. It could come down more. I wouldn't really look to trade this. I would use this as a confluence for something else. Okay, because there's been a lot of higher highs and stuff in between there. I would use that as confluence of the overall direction and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get this video to 500 likes, guys, so we can give away the 500. Let's give it away. Okay, Bill Hyde, the DIY guy, posted it in the VIP Discord. Let's check it out. Okay, here we go. We've got higher lows and we've got lower lows. Oh yeah. Yep. That is a that would be a divergence there. Absolutely. Yeah, nice find there. Nice find. Yeah, the VIP Discord, there's a lot of great traders in here. And I know I haven't been as active lately, guys. That's because, you know, got the new baby in the house. Got the new baby in the house. People are talking about the descending triangle we've got going on. Shout out to Aaron Clark, who likes the content. People are asking how the baby Casper is doing. Little Fibonacci is doing very well. Little Fibonacci is doing well. Crypto Rancher says we're at the VWAP. Yeah, VWAP, great support and resistance. Yeah, not a 500 Bitcoin giveaway, but a $500 worth of Bitcoin giveaway. When do you know when the divergence has played out already or not? Okay, that's a great question, Maxime Brechard. Maxime. Here's how. When we have a divergence, I like to use a level of support or resistance as my entry. So for example, on the 24-minute time frame, when we have this thing, okay, when we have this thing playing out like this, okay, where we clearly have the divergence not only in the momentum waves, but also the money flow, okay, also the money flow. This to me is saying that now I am going to short off of my level here, and you would have done this, you know, before we got the confirmation, right? So you could have like entered somewhere up in here, because you would do that before you even get the confirmation, because you can see money flow coming down, and so that's I use my levels as my entries, put the stop loss above that high, and then take profit on the way down. Because then there's really like no question, did it play out or did it not? Because right, we could have said that we had a divergence that played out here, right? As price was, now I guess this wasn't a divergence, but having the levels will give you a clear reference point for your entries. So if you're unsure about whether or not a divergence is played out, well, go look and see, are we at a level of support? Are we at a level of resistance? Are we at a resistance or support? Okay? If we're at resistance or support, then you have a clear place to enter a trade, right? And so if you just mark your levels, look for the divergences, you should be good. If you're only looking for divergences, then you don't really have a reference point, and you can still do very well, but it's much easier if you have these levels marked out, right? It's much easier. Like this right here, this on the 24-minute time frame, where we got this nice bounce off the weekly support, you know, we could very clearly see momentum coming up as price is coming down, and you know, we got a nice bounce off of here, and you could say that divergence played out, but then we come down more. So did the divergence play out? Like, yes and no, right? Then we get a hidden divergence over here, and we get another massive move. So you got to use those divergences as confluence along with your levels of support and resistance. Yep, support and resistance. All right, guys, I actually have to head out. We've been in here for an hour, we will do the giveaway. We will. So you guys got to stop back to the streams, and we'll do the giveaway eventually. Thank you to everybody who congratulated me on Little Fibonacci. Shout out to Why Not Tony, who's an atheist but loves the prayers. Much love. Much love to you too, Tony. Yeah, so I'm gonna head out. And so guys, receive this blessing. In the Hebrew language, to place the name of the Lord upon you. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom b'shem Yeshua HaMashiach Elohei Israel, which in English means, may the Lord bless you and protect you, and may he cause his face to shine on you, be gracious unto you. And may the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you wholeness in the name of Jesus, the Messiah, the God of Israel. And I do pray that all of you are blessed, and that the Lord does reveal himself to each one of you in a very personal way. And Khalid Osman says, every time I say a Hebrew prayer, he feels like I'm casting a spell. Well, I'm not casting a spell. I'm not. But what I am doing, I'm blessing you. So, yeah, shout out to all the atheists, agnostics, and shout out to everybody. Here's the thing. When it comes to religion and all that, everybody's entitled to their own opinions and beliefs. I believe what I believe, but I have no disrespect or animosity toward any other human. And I think that's a very important it's a very important personality trait that everybody should have, right? Because we're all humans. We're all created in God's image, and I do believe in objective truth. I'm unabashed about that, right? I believe that Jesus is objective truth, but it's always important to respect every other human, because we are all the same, created in God's image, in need of redemption. Amen. All right, shout out to Ramon. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Peace.